This is Audible.
Brought to you by Word Still Productions. Read by the author. The Godot Orange by Bruce Roberts.
Chapter 1. Can't Stop the Feeling. A couple of millennia short of the end of the universe, a light went on. The light grew in intensity. It was joined by a slight humming sound, like the noise of a small hive of bees. Finally, the light flickered, and a thought was formed. I think, therefore it must be Wednesday. There was a pause, a bit longer than that, and then a feeling of woe. Was it indigestion? The light thought hard. There was something about last night it could not remember. At its core, the light felt quite strange. There was a gurgling like a drain, followed by the sound of 1,000,000,000 elephants being sick. Streams of protons poured out in every direction. For all the universe, it seemed some had coalesced into shapes that might have been seen as bagels and peanuts. Or were they carrot chunks? Whatever happened last night must have been epic. The light looked around. To the left, inexplicably, there were two old men deep in thought engaged in a game of chess. They were ignoring the light, so it would ignore them. If the light could roll its eye upwards, it would have done so. Men, it thought. The light looked further. Time and space were spread out in a chaotic fashion, quite like the morning after the most fantastic student party ever, where people were sleeping where they fell, on the stairs, in the bath, and in next-door shrubbery. The sort of party where one might find random items of clothing, street signs and traffic cones spread throughout the building. It was as if every fibre of reality had been disassembled and stretched out like a nylon rope, with trillions and centillions of filaments splayed out and thrown everywhere. Like a child would discard an infinite number of strings of dried bucatini pasta. That's the one with a hole down the middle. The light looked forward through the chaos of the future. The end of all things, interestingly, was not far away. Curiously, the food at the end of all things looked a lot better than last night's overindulgence. A teeny tiny, almost invisible little blue dot appeared on the horizon, blinking. It was a trivial and seemingly insignificant little blue dot. Still, on a quantum level, it appeared to be at the centre of all of the chaos and confusion. Billions of years of disorder spreading out infinitely from this one microscopic blue dot, like the final vestige of the dot on the screen of a 1970s black and white television when it's turned off at 11:35 p.m, close down time on the BBC on a cold December night, just after the moment when the weatherman has announced, "Tomorrow will be altogether as cold and dreary as it was today." An unquestionably ridiculously small blue dot, and yet somehow important. The light thought for a moment and came to the kind of conclusion, which might have been arrived at had the universe been partying all last night. Clearly, it was time to tidy up all the mess. The moment had arrived, the juncture to straighten out time and space into a much more orderly shape. However, before that, the light felt a desire for an identity, a need to know who it was. The light decided upon the Strand. The Strand was ready, starting off with this little blue dot, and on this little blue dot, like a bluebottle makes itself conspicuous by buzzing loudly and flying too close, something here needed immediate attention. When a tangled mess needs unravelling, the best place to start is the end of the line itself, the beginning of the end of all things. 5 humans with a very, very nasty toy. Time to tidy up, she thought.